So Andy Burnham had this conference. You saw this speech in Manchester that we've spoken
Yes.
about on another pod.
Yes.
And at that particular speech, he made a pointed reference to Chris Mason at the back of their room. Did you see any of that?
No, I didn't know.
He was talking about he hadn't made any decisions regarding appointments, and nothing was going to happen in the next few days. It was going to be, until he was actually in office before he announced his first cabinet. That's a message to you specifically, Mr. Mason, at the back of the room, because they'd been speculating that he might say who his new Chancellor was going to be, hadn't they? Especially the BBC. So on that basis, I thought, well, if they're going to speculate, then Riff-Raff News needs to speculate as to who we think might be in the top five.
I just object to that positioning. I think Riff-Raff News will speculate, and therefore the BBC feel inclined to speculate. I think it's that way round.
We lead, absolutely. Where
Exactly.
we lead, they
Exactly.
follow. Yeah.
Exactly.
Are you listening, Mr. Mason?
Indeed.
So I thought we'd have a look. So AI has come up with 3 offerings for each of these.
I've got an idea.
Jobs.
Shall we replace you with AI?
That's a good idea. I could have the afternoon off. Yeah. Listening to your drivel.
Well, at least I won't have to listen to yours.
Yes, we could have AI, an AI Sean and an AI Guy, really, couldn't we?
Just AI Guy.
AI Fox and AI Beardy.
Exactly.
So anyway, less of this. Let's get on to the meat of this.
Sorry.
So the Chancellor, which is the big post, isn't it? The one that everybody's waiting to see who he appoints, and the options that AI have come up with.
Options? Is this how it works?
Yeah,
Excellent.
these are 3 options, and what I want us to do is have a chat around them, and then decide which one Riff-Raff News is going to put its money on down at Ladbrokes.
What if we don't agree?
Well, if we don't agree, we'll disagree agreeably. Somebody else uses that term, doesn't they?
Yeah, we won't publicise who that is.
and revisit it and see who was right and why you were wrong. So, Chancellor of the Exchequer, we've got the big name in the frame. The big beast is Ed Miliband.
Yep.
Ed Miliband, obviously, currently the Environment Secretary. Some big to-do about whether we've had this discussion on the pod before, opening up these oil fields in the North Sea, very green-centred, popular with the left of the Labour Party.
Yeah, and unpopular with the whole country.
And unpopular.
Destroying business, destroying jobs. Even the unions don't like it. Sharon Graham doesn't like it.
This unions that are involved in the North Sea don't like it. And that's because they're representing their members' interest in more jobs. So I think it's a bit. There's one
higher
of the
energy bills.
Well, we could argue that one till the cows come home. So, but he's a big ally and has helped Mr. Burnham get in. He was the one who supposedly went into Keir Starmer and said, time to start packing your stuff up and let's have an orderly transition.
Orderly transition.
Me of the bacon sandwich, of course, as well.
I prefer the Edstone reference.
And the Edstone. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so he's got form, but he is a big beast in the Labour Party. So Ed Miliband, who else is in the
frame? Okay. So, he's definitely in the frame. Yeah, definitely.
He's in the frame. Wes Streeting, came up with. Obviously, Wes Streeting started this latest round of furore by stepping away from his job. And,
he did.
The cabinet then at that point started to dissolve. Being quite successful as Health Secretary, I would suggest. I mean, you wouldn't argue with that, would you?
Well, I could, but he's untarnished would be my thing. Other than leading, people who lead the revolt don't always do that well. But he didn't challenge him, did he? One minute he had 81, then he didn't. 1 minute he was going to go for the leadership, then he didn't. So I don't think that he's come out too sort of smelling of roses with that. I don't know about his economic credentials, but that's never been an issue for the Chancellor.
It's not really an issue for a Chancellor of the Exchequer.
By the way, did you hear this? Did you hear that wonderful snippet that the Treasury are now no longer presenting potential candidates with numeric reasoning tests?
Oh no!
On the basis that when somebody did some analysis, that's when more diverse candidates dropped out of the process. But I do think it was rather funny that in the interest of diversity, we're going to have people in the
Who can't add
Treasury
up.
who aren't numerate. So maybe Wes is all right there. Maybe Wes is okay.
Maybe he is. Maybe. And I was thinking about what you were saying just now, actually, and that was a Michael Heseltine. They always used to put that forward as an argument for why Michael Heseltine would never be Prime Minister, wasn't it? That he who wields the sword never wears the crown. Everything has to go back to heraldry in Britain, doesn't it? It's not like straightforward anywhere
to be
else
fair,
in the world.
Sunak did that with one of his letters, if you recall, the Boris government. And eventually he got there, but Liz Truss got there first. So there is some truth in it.
So he didn't wear the crown to start with.
No, he sort of had a second hand.
Yeah, second-hand crown.
Yeah.
There's a song, isn't that, for the musical, Second-Hand Crown?
There is now.
And finally, the suggestion, which I think we can probably rule out between the two of us, that they might leave the current incumbent in place, Rachel Reeves.
Fair enough. That's that. Yeah, there is some argument that would please the markets.
Yeah. Which Streeting, we didn't say when we were talking about the balance of the party. He's not very well liked on the left of the party. He's more of a. I'm sure he wouldn't be liked to be called this, but I think he's more of a new Labour man, really.
Yeah.
Popular with the country, I would suggest, Streeting, and popular with that segment of the right wing of the Labour Party.
Well,
if we're
talking about popularity, I heard a lovely quote the other day about Mrs. Reeves in that Sir Keir is considered to be toxic on the doorstep, and Rachel Reeves is believed to be worse. So she has the distinction of being less popular than the most unpopular Prime Minister in history. So I think that's quite funny.
No, it's a shame. I don't think she's done that bad a job. I know we could argue on this one.
Yeah, but we'll move on because you've got how many others to do?
We have. We've got a few more. But which one? Who are we going to plump for here?
I'm going Streeting because I think him withdrawing from the leadership contest goes right back to that. And I think, although a lot of smart money is on Miliband, I actually think it will be Streeting.
You think it'll be Streeting, and I'm going for Miliband here. So
excellent.
We are disagreeing before we've even got off the ground.
Excellent.
Foreign Secretary.
Yes.
Yvette Cooper to remain in post. Obviously, she's fairly vanilla, isn't she? In respect, she's not disliked by the right or left, but she's not overly loved by the right or left. And she seems to be doing she's a big beast, obviously married to Ed Balls, who obviously
big
helps.
Profile.
Big profile. And she's done a relatively good job at the Foreign Office. Couldn't argue with that.
What's she done then? Do you know what she's done?
Well, she's kept the ship afloat through difficult times, hasn't she?
Yeah, okay.
She's kept our Gulf allies on board during the Iran war. They're
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
David Lammy was suggested again. He's been there before. Former Foreign Secretary.
And stealer of the poppy.
Stealer of the poppy? When was that then?
Well, that was famously on the 11th of November when he was addressing Parliament. He was the only MP. He was sitting in for Starmer, one of those deputisation ones, and he was the only MP in the whole House not wearing a poppy. And then there was this sort of movement in the back benches, and this poppy came down. Next minute, he's wearing this poppy, and somebody who's observant on these matters noticed that it was a special one with the ex-Forces poppy. So the bloke who'd given it to him really set him up. It was a Forces MP.
That was probably Al Cairns, wasn't it? Action Man Cairns.
Dan Jarvis, the new one.
Dan. So Lammy, previously Deputy PM and Justice Secretary. Lisa Nandy is being mentioned as well. That'd be a big leap, wouldn't it, Lisa Nandy? But she apparently is she's the Culture Secretary at the moment. She's a close ally of Andy Burnham.
Yeah, she was doing the campaign, wasn't she? Yeah.
And this is the surprise, the complete surprise out the blue.
Yeah.
There's talk around Westminster that the Prince over the water is coming back. David Miliband from his job in New York.
Yes.
Which from International Rescue. I always get this wrong. It is International Rescue. He's coming back from Tracy Island, which would be nice, wouldn't it? But that would be a big move, wouldn't it? Because he is a.
So he's become a lord then. He has to become a lord, a bit like Cameron.
absolutely. That's exactly what they'd be doing
Okay.
if he came back. So they're the four, effectively, Foreign Secretary. What's your money on here?
I think I'd forgotten that Miliband was being talked about. But if you're going to build a cabinet of competence and proven ability and experience, if it were me, I would retain Yvette Cooper in post.
I'd agree. I think if it were me, I'd go for David Miliband. I'd go for the dark horse. But I agree with you that I think it will be Yvette Cooper. I don't think for a number of reasons, I don't think they'll go with Miliband. I can't see Lammy. I don't think he's in the camp. And I think Lisa and Andy would be a stretch too far. I like Lisa and Andy, but I think she'd be more at home. I think she'd be good at health, actually, to be quite honest, somewhere like that. But there we go. Okay, Home Secretary. Shabana, who's already there. Heidi Alexander, who's a bit of an unknown quantity. Yeah. And talking of transport, the other one in the frame is Louise Haigh, who, of course, was the predecessor of Heidi Alexander.
Was she the lady who used to have red hair and doesn't anymore?
Funny coloured hair. Yeah, absolutely.
She's become hair neutral, isn't she? She's obviously taken advice.
Hair neutral, wasn't he, in the Second World War?
Yeah, right.
He was Hitler's number 2, wasn't he?
No. I think the style gurus got to her and said, "Look, if you're serious about helping Mr. Burnham, because wasn't she Burnham's campaign manager?" Yeah,
she's like that with Burnham, so she's going to get a job of some description.
Yeah,
it's just a question of which job.
It's a big job, though, isn't it?
It is a big job. Yeah, Home Secretary. I think that's a push.
Isn't
too
she
far.
Deputy Labour? She's something, isn't she? They had an election, didn't they?
Yeah, no, you're thinking of Lucy Powell, aren't you?
Oh, sorry,
Lucy Powell
confused.
became leader of the,
Who's the one who nicked the mobile phone? Who was that? Who owned up to fraudulent? No, something about fraudulently declaring they'd lost their mobile phone. Who was that?
That was Louise Haigh, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to have. So she could be a prominent minister.
She was, but this was years ago when she was a kid, wasn't it? That this happened.
No, she was an adult. She was an adult when she did it.
No, she wasn't.
She was. Do your research.
We'll find out. We'll find out and come back to you on that one next week.
But that would be, honestly, it would be madness because they're going to have an absolute field day with that. It'd be like putting Angela Rayner in again. They're going to have a field day with it.
Okay, we'll cut you off there because we don't want any more of this dribble. So who are you? Who are you plumping for here then for Home Secretary?
Sorry, I've forgotten which position it was.
Shabana, Heidi Alexander, or Louise Haigh?
I think because, again, you pointed out a couple of pods ago, you made a good point.
That's very kind of you to say so.
When you said that Mr. Farage had been rather quiet on the illegal immigration front because the numbers were going in the right direction. I think Burnham's cute enough to know that. And I think he'll keep, if she wants it, keep Mahmood in place.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I'm wholeheartedly. So we agreed on that one as well.
To an agreement. And
I just don't think of the options that we've got there. It might be somebody else comes in, but of the options, Heidi Alexander, I don't think, and Louise Haigh.
She's good on. I've seen her on Sky. She's good.
Yeah. Deputy Prime Minister. This is an interesting one.
Oh, yeah.
Angela's back in the frame.
Right, okay.
Again, we've got Louise Haigh, who we've spoken about her, and Lucy Powell, who is a long-time Burnham ally in Manchester, and obviously leader of the party. She's the top gun who's causing problems for Starmer because she got the boot from the cabinet, didn't she? And since then, she's been a bit of a thorn in Starmer's side, but she's very, very, very close to Andy Burnham. So, I mean, go on, give us your bet on this one.
I'm going to link to my first answer, which was Wes Streeting for Chancellor, if Burnham doesn't screw him over, because I think they did a deal, but obviously Burnham could screw him over on the deal. I think he's then got a fine place for Ed Miliband. I think he gives Ed Miliband Deputy Prime Minister. Isn't this minister without portfolio, or is that someone else?
They haven't got a portfolio as Deputy Prime Minister.
And I insist that we have a minister without portfolio because I just love saying it. So that's my tip, that Ed will get Deputy Prime Minister.
You think Ed will get Deputy?
He probably won't, but it's just a theory.
See, I think it's between him and Angela Rayner.
I can see why you say that. Yeah,
Angela Rayner somewhere. And I can't see Angela Rayner. They just suspect at the Foreign Office or the Home Office or Defence for that matter. I think she's more of a more of a socially minded person.
How about Minister for HMRC? Could you do that? Is there one?
I don't know.
Well, she probably understands how it works.
Yeah. Well, I suppose.
But won't she
Go
come
on.
back as housing? Isn't that the most obvious?
Well, that could be. I was about to say maybe.
Yeah, he doesn't have to make a deputy, does he?
Maybe.
Yeah.
She could be in charge of Number 10 North. Maybe that's who's going to be running Number 10 North.
But she lives in Hove now. That's not a good idea.
No, it's probably not such a good idea. Who's going to run Number 10? I wonder how that's going to work. Whether the Deputy Prime Minister is going to be based in Number 10, or whether
everyone's going, don't make me Deputy PM. I don't want to be in Manchester. It's very wet, you know.
So, yeah, that'll be interesting, won't it? Anyway, we'll move on.
So, who did we agree with there? Who did you say? You said Rayner.
Yeah, I said Rayner, and you said Wes if he's not put in as Chancellor.
No, the other way around. Wes is Chancellor because I can't hedge my bets, and therefore Ed Miliband is Deputy.
Well, Ed Miliband is Deputy. Okay, you've chosen one outside what AI offered us, but we'll take that from you.
I haven't got a chance with this, but I'm just trying to be a little bit contrary.
Okay, and finally, because we're running a bit over time here, Defence. We've got Dan Jarvis, who's the current guy who hasn't even got his feet under the table yet. No. Action Man, Al Cams, military man, or we go back to dear old John, who's John Healey, who's caused problems. Yeah. What's your plump on this one? Then?
I look at this and I say that whether you agree with him or not, I think walking away from something as important about a defence was probably not a great look. So he's weakened himself, principled, and I respect that. So Healey, the same applies to Cairns. I think Cairns could be trouble. He could equally be trouble from the backbenchers because he's very active on social media. But I think on the basis that the new guy has got the dip over the line and he seems quite confident, I'd be tempted to stay with Jarvis, I think.
Do you think?
I think
we're gonna sort of slightly disagree here.
Yeah, we've got to, haven't we? Otherwise it's dull.
I think he'll bring Healey back. Because he's endeared himself to the military establishment, really. Yeah. And so he's got that leverage, I think, to be able to force things through that maybe, others wouldn't. And I'm sure if he brings Healey back, they'll get the team back together and Al will be back alongside him and his right-hand man, I would have thought.
Okay.
So we'll see.
I can see the logic. I see the logic.
Yeah. So that's where we are. I think we'll make a note of those and we'll we'll revisit them in a few weeks' time when he's ensconced in Number 10 South.
We will.